Got these 3 paints, didn't I, from Warhammer Thoughty K Conquest. Right. Oh, you know what? I've not done this for a while. See if I've still got it, shall we? Oh, flipping heck! Get the kitchen towel! In today's Warhammer Thoughty K special report, I'm going to take a closer look at this. Hey! So, I got myself the first issue of Warhammer Thoughty K Conquest magazine, and I'm going to take a closer look. I'm sure you'll have seen plenty of unboxings, if you like, and reviews of the first issue of the Warhammer Thoughty K Conquest magazine. And they'll have probably, I would have thought, I've not actually watched any myself, but I imagine they'll have concentrated on the value of the stuff you're getting in there and whether it's worth the $1.99 price tag. The answer to that, in short, is yeah, of course it's worth the $1.99 price tag. You get intercessors, which are 10 quid, easy to build intercessors. £2.55 each for the paints, I think. And then there's a brush in there, which is it's just like a cheap brush that GW pump out. It's one of these starter brushes, and that'll, you know, you can't buy them separately, but that's gonna, let's be generous and say it's about a £20 value of models and stuff in there. But what I'm going to do is take a closer look at the magazine itself and just tell you who it's aimed at. It is for new players, it's for people new to the hobby, new to the Warhammer 40,000 universe. People coming in with no preconceptions, I guess you'd say, of what the Warhammer 40,000 universe is. It gives you a brief insight into the universe in general, so it mentions the Imperium of Man, the Golden Throne, the Emperor, the Dark Imperium, so that's the current storyline that's running in the main game at the moment, and in the main game and in any fluff that Games Workshop are putting out at the moment, that's the storyline that's running in there. Imperium Nihilus, it gives you the galactic map and stuff like that. And then it goes on to Space Marines after that, and it gives you brief insight into what the Space Marines are, who their Gene Fathers are, the Primarchs, and it gives you some examples of the Space Marine chapters, including this new chapter, the Silver Templars, just there. You should be able to see that, hopefully, if I've got it framed right. Then it touches on the Ultramarines, the paint scheme in the magazine, which we'll flick to just briefly. They're going for an Ultramarines paint scheme. It touches on the Ultramarines, as I said. It talks about their homeworld and stuff like that. The Ultramar Empire. It gives you an indication of squad markings and the colours of each company in a chapter of Space Marines. The Battle for Luna, so again it's touching on some current lore that's running in the 40k wider 40k universe at the moment. Introduces you to intercessors. So the hobby section is really, really basic as well. It's perfect for someone who, I'd say it's perfect for a parent who doesn't know anything about the hobby and they want their kids to take up a hobby, or maybe the kids they've met someone at school that does the hobby and they want to get involved in it as well. So this magazine would be great for a child that doesn't have anyone necessarily to guide them through the hobby. And if you're also, even if you are in the hobby and your child's just showing an interest in it, I think it's also great, because guiding people through things step by step doesn't necessarily come naturally to everybody, to every parent or every older brother or cousin or uncle. These simple step-by-step instructions, they over-explain it almost, but it doesn't become tedious because there are only 5 steps. It gives you quick how to build of the 3 intercessors you get in there, and then it moves on to how to paint intercessors, which it tells you stuff you'll need, and then it moves straight into it. Really, it tells you the simplest things, like how to hold the paintbrush. When it comes to paintbrush, it's not, you don't do it every day, do you? So you don't kind of get the chance to pick up and learn by yourself. Although holding a paintbrush, to some parents who aren't artistically inclined, they may not have held a paintbrush for years. So for them to then try and teach the kid how to hold a paintbrush, it might prove a difficult task. There's 3 paints that come with it as well. You've got Abaddon Black, Macragge Blue, and Retributor Armour. I was going to say gold then, Retributor Armour, which is a gold colour. And then what it does in this handy guide, it teaches you with those 3 colours how to get it to a certain stage, basically. And then, at the end of that, it says, wait for future issues when there's going to be more colours included, and then they'll teach you how to paint more detail on these models. So obviously, as you gather more issues, you'll eventually have enough paints to paint them to a fully detailed standard, I would have thought, similar to what they are on the cover art. Yeah, so it's like a really basic introduction, and it gives you the fluff, and then at the very end, now bear in mind you've only got one set of 3 models here, at the very end it sort of teases you what's going to be in the next issue by introducing the idea of gameplay to you. Now you've only got to wait a week for the next issue as far as I'm aware. It just runs you through the whole idea that it's 2 people building their own armies and then facing off against one another, and then it flips to a section with a mission briefing, and it sets the scene with a bit of and again another bit of fluff that next issue the mission, because there's Death Guard in the next issue. It says on the back there's Death Guard in the next issue, and a little gaming mat as well. So it sort of teases you as if it's the end of an episode of a show that you really can't wait till next week to watch. So it gives you that little tantalising teaser of what's coming in the next issue. And once you've got your 3 Death Guard built at least, maybe painted a little bit as well, if you want, then you can do battle. You get in the next issue a little gaming mat, a couple of rulers, some dice, Death Guard green base paint. Yeah, so overall I think it's a really good quick introduction to the Warhammer 40,000 universe. Not too much writing on each page, that's what I like about it as well, because if you are, obviously most people watching this will be people who are already into the hobby, but if you know someone who isn't particularly into the hobby but their child is showing an interest in the hobby, this could be a good way for them to get a nice little taster of what the hobby is, and an idea of what the Warhammer 40,000 universe consists of. And just I would have thought it sort of whets the appetite to continue collecting and building a collection, which is the idea of this after all, let's face it. The first 4 issues are going to be available in Warhammer and Games Workshop stores in the UK and Ireland, and in newsagents and corner shops, and wherever sells magazines and stuff, basically. So it's worth popping down to your local newsagents, finding out if they're getting it in, ask them if they can get it in, if they're not getting it in, and probably pick up at least the first 4 issues. Judge for yourself then whether it's going to be worth it going forward. What I'll do next week, I'll pick up the next issue as well. I'm going to be going in on the first 4 issues, and then I'll decide from that whether I want to continue with the subscription or not. It'll be interesting to see. What I might do is challenge myself to get these intercessors painted by the time the next issue comes out. I should be able to whack them out in pretty quick order, I would have thought, in pretty short order. What I'll do though is I have already got these 3 intercessors built. Doesn't look like it, but I have, trust me. These guys. So this is what you get once they're built. You get these 3 intercessors just here. Hopefully the camera will focus, and if not, then tough innit. So these are the 3 models that you get. I've already got 3 of the same models built, and what I'll do is paint them to a tabletop standard. If I can get them painted to a tabletop standard by the time the next issue comes out, then that's sort of a nice bit of encouragement, and provided it doesn't take away from my other hobby time, where I'm working on other things. I'm currently in the process of painting a lot of Sector Mechanicus terrain. I'll be painting these probably not as Ultramarines, but as Imperial Guard. Imperial Guard? Imperial Fist, not Imperial Guard. I am losing my mind. Yeah, so I'll see if I can get them painted to a tabletop standard, at least 3 colours. The same. I'll tell you what, I'll do it. I'll try and do it the same way they have in the magazine, where I've got at least 3 colours on there, and that to me is a gaming level. I'm looking at some Reavers that I've already started painting in Imperial Fist colours, and they've only got 4 colours on them, so I might just try and get them up to that standard, and then go forward from there. So tune in next week for another Warhammer Thoughty K special report. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I'll see you on the battlefield.